Real quick question. When you set a deadline for self-tapes and they all start coming in, do you reach those deadlines? Or say if the first day you get gold and you just get a good feeling, do you still hold out to see what can come into the deadline?
In my office, the process is like this. If we set up 30 people for a part, Kim and Tawny, who are my able and wonderful associates, will look at all of them, and then they'll send me anybody they think is viable. It could be 5, it could be 7, whatever. And then I will watch only those. And I don't watch them as they come in. There's no advantage to being the first one in.
Thank you.
There is a disadvantage to missing the deadline, but there is no advantage for being the first one in at my office. Everybody is different. Who knows what the other people do? I barely know any other casting directors. We're like mushrooms. They keep us in the dark and feed us shit.
We can't even send thank you. We can't even get addresses to send thank you.
No, I'm not giving you my home. That's where I am.
And that was actually, if I could throw another quick question, is, there used to be normal to send a postcard once a year
Sure.
with a headshot or something. And, if I creepily find your home address
Oh, God.
and send you, that's sure to keep me out forever.
Yeah, pretty much.
Is there any way?
I think that's another one of the losses in the pandemic, is that it's very hard to create and maintain a relationship with a
Or just
casting
show
office.
appreciation after getting booked.
Yeah.
Like, thank you.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to thank you guys? I'm supposed to send something and thank you?
Just by doing good work.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, that's right by me.
No idea.
Unless it's a good bottle of Italian red.
I always express my gratitude when a casting director hired one of my clients. I was always so thrilled, almost more thrilled than my actor sometimes. I'm on the same school as John of yes, please, thank you. Those were roots first, the more important to me, almost than anything. I'm just sort of disabled. I have rods in my spine. I hold doors open for people all the time, and it's like, I'm not the doorman. Can you say thank you?
Yeah.
Or I'll do if I'm in one of those like, you're welcome.
I do that too, and I feel so bad when I do it. Now, you're welcome, and then I'm like, oh.
It's like, it just
But it's true.
It's
so true.
crazy. But yes, please, thank you.
Manners,
You
for
know.
sure.
Yeah, well, you mentioned that I think good manners are important, and they really are. I always say that if I invited you to my house for dinner the first time, and you said, "Why did you hang that picture there?" That would be rude, and I wouldn't be receptive to you. But if we developed a relationship and you were an interior decorator, and the 5th time you came to my house for dinner and you said, "I think that picture might look better over here," I would appreciate that.
Right.
But that also, goes to being on time, being respectful of the work, taking the work seriously and not taking yourself too seriously, not behaving in a way that is reprehensible, unpleasant. We had a guy, on Shameless there was a trans character. I didn't know anything about the trans world. I learned a great deal, and it's one of the wonderful, fun things about casting is that you get thrown into worlds that you don't know. And so you get a chance to grow and change. But it turned out that we cast this one actor, and he had been a she at a Catholic girls' school, and eventually did the transition. And then an actor came in who was the father of a girl who was a classmate of theirs when they were a female.
Nice.
And he railed at us about how much he thought it was disgusting, and all that point of view. God bless him, he has that point of view. That's his problem or solution or whatever.
Right.
But when he left the room, the director said, "I don't want to spend 12 hours with him."
Yeah.
So keep your controversial opinions to yourself.
As you would at any other job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
George Clooney did it inside the Actors Studio. That was my favorite one that I ever saw because he was talking about the series regulars. This person might not be as good of an actor, but they're way more pleasant, and this person is like an asshole, but they're a better actor. Who are you gonna hire? You have to spend 7 years with that person.
Well, and that's part of why the live casting process is so important, especially in series regulars, because you're going to spend so much time with them. You're going to spend more time with them than with your partner, right? I mean, and we used to try to, at Warner Brothers, there was an executive who used to say, how does he fit into the no assholes rule? and unfortunately with actors, like with athletes, especially if you get early success, you get a sense of your own importance, and then you start to become entitled. And it's not surprising that we create monsters who then misbehave terribly. Because we're telling you how wonderful you are all the time, either directly or indirectly. And I think it's really important to maintain that humbleness that you started with. I at a certain point in my life, I became John, and I'd always been Johnny. And I like to say that I keep Johnny in my pocket, because he will pinch my behind when I start behaving like John. Yes, sir. Now.
Like going off of the staying humble, have you heard of any situations in the entertainment industry where an actor has been put on the spot for being too much of an asshole to other people on set, or
how high can you count?
How often does that happen where somebody?
Well, it's incredibly painful when it happens. I won't tell you who or what, but when someone gets, there's some people who just can't be happy in the world, and so they're always looking for something to make them unhappy. And when they get unhappy, then they make other people unhappy. And we touched on it earlier, but the whole thing is community and collaboration. And that cliche of let's put on a play and let's all work together and I'll sweep the floors and and all of that is real. And if somebody becomes bacteria instead of a collaborator, it can ruin the whole thing. And we're very sensitive to that in the community that I've been mostly a part of. And when someone transcends collaboration and moves outside of community, they're gone as quickly as we can write them out in a way that makes sense to our audience.
That's why I always talk about that, being generous with other actors and with the whole process, and collaborate, and we're all in it together. And if you need somebody to read for you, call your classmate.
It's its own reward to be part of something, to find the something that you can contribute to. It's better than the money, it's better than the awards, it's better than the limousine rides, all of which are fun. But when I see people I worked with recently, the wonderful writer and a great friend and a great producer, John Sacred Young, who was one of the two creators of China Beach, died of a brain aneurysm. And maybe 30 of the actors who had appeared in significant roles on China Beach came to the memorial. And it was like yesterday. They were part of it was community. And we remembered our connections to each other, and it was great.
Right where you left off.
Pretty much.
So when somebody comes in the office and you're the vibist, you can feel like, is this person going to be a team player? Is that why you always mix and match, or not always, but you like to mix and match for actors to come in to work together?
Sure, absolutely.
I love that.
To get a sense of whether they'll play with the other people, and to get a sense of what their muscle is, you know, if they do the same performance with each of the three guys that they're reading in a chemistry reading, then I lost it. Even if it's really a good performance, I'm losing interest because they're not tossing the ball back and forth with the other actor.
John, first of all, some of this has already been echoed. I just want to say thank you for being just all of your contributions to this industry and how you have shaped it and how you have put your loving fingerprints on so many important shows that have transcended and inspired and have really shaped our culture. You being part of that has been a really wonderful thing. And then also, like my friend Kurt, unlike my friend Kurt, who's in the audience.
Is that Stevie? I thought it was you. Oh my God. I'm sorry.
All right, so unlike Kurt to take off, I must have been in John's office about 15 or 20 times.
Oh,
I will
shit.
say, I've auditioned so much because it was a thing. It was like if you can get on John's show, any of the shows, ER, West Wing, Shameless, if you can get in, like it meant something for an actor. And so I was always going in, callbacks, all that kind of stuff like that, and nothing.
He's the professor at USC, so.
Not a damn
Still
thing.
doing it.
But what did happen was COVID, and then I'm 3 takes deep. You know, I do 3 takes, and it's usually the magic is there. It usually starts to go down after 3 takes.
Yeah.
And I auditioned for Animal Kingdom, and after all this time, 20-something years, bam, I booked.
Wow.
Yeah, and I was on Animal Kingdom, and I was like, I finally made it. It was my own personal thing, and I finally got there, and I can now feel like I'm inducted to the John Levey. Yes.
Well, you're in the repertory company now. Welcome home. What part did you play on Animal Kingdom? Remind me, please.
I played it was episode 10. Season 5, I played I controlled all of the documents. They were trying to get a bar license.
Oh, right. You were the guy from the liquor licensing place.
Exactly.
I got it. I remember it well.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
you worked opposite Jake Weary.
Yes. Which is really interesting because I teach at USC and I was on set with Jake. And then he said, "Oh, you teach at USC?" And I go, "Yeah." And he goes, "Yeah, I auditioned. It didn't take me." I had nothing to do with that, Jake. But my question is this: after a person books and builds a relationship and is all that, what's a proper way in today's climate to maintain or I don't even know. There's so many rules now. Like, is it okay to send a card? Do you send flowers? Is that some kind of wrong thing to do? How do you show your appreciation for finally making it? It's been 25 years, and I don't even know if I should send a postcard.
Well, I wasn't joking earlier, although it may have seemed that way. My reward is your good work, and that's all I really care about. In the old days, if someone would call my associates and say, I'd like to thank John, can I send him a bunch of cupcakes? And then they would say he has diabetes. Don't do that. And I liked to get flowers for the office, and that was fun. But today, your good work is ample. Thanks, and if we ever do bump into each other like we are right now, what you expressed is extremely meaningful to me, and I appreciate it.
And then I know, because we're running over time, I want to be good on this and respectful. I can't wait to get the book. I'm going to read it. You're seeing a lot of stuff that I say a lot in the classrooms at SC. And it's almost like a same message, different messenger. They're going to listen to you more. So I'm going to bring this book in the classroom and hopefully even somehow get you there because they really don't understand things like, dealing with a lot of sensitivities in the world, right, in the classroom.
Sure.
And I just think that what's happening on campus that, how that's gonna transfer into the real world, working world, I think they're gonna have a hard time. I don't think that they can go in there and say, well, you know, this material is this and another, because really, the reason why we have these TV shows is so we can hold up society to itself, and so we can take a look at what we're doing to become better. And I'm dealing with a lot of folks who are being very, very sensitive about it, and so when they go off into the real world and deal with this, I don't know how that's gonna translate for them.
Yeah, I don't know either, but I've recently had the opportunity to do a Zoom with the graduating class at Carnegie Mellon. I'm going to be doing something for SCAD in a little while, and I love trying to get into those institutional programs. I did a thing for Dan Shaner, who I think is one of the teachers at USC. Maybe there were 6 or 7 kids in it. Early on when the book first came out. And, you know, I just love talking to I said earlier, I miss you. And I'm glad to have a chance to be in this super spreader moment. And I hope we're all going to be fine on Sunday. But, you know, but I really, really appreciate you know, what you have to say. And there are a lot of people who have been at USC over the years that I knew back in the day. Madeline Puzo and I worked together at the Taper in 1980. Who was the actor who was the star of the play The Belly of the Beast? He's a teacher at USC as well, I think, or at least he was.
Oh, James Morrison sends his highs to you.
Oh my God, I used to take yoga from him.
You did. He's
great.
He played Brick in Jose Quintero's production of Cat on a Hot Tin Roof that I was the assistant director on in 1980. And the woman who played Maggie recently passed away, a young gal called Kirstie Alley. And damn did she look good in a slip in those days. Not so much today.
The story's in the book, and it's really it's pretty powerful when you talk about
Jose. What a man, what a talent, what an experience that was.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, okay.
I'm so grateful to all of you for your interest in hearing about this stuff, and the book has been out for 6 months, and we've had 3 days with no sales, which is, and we passed 1,000 books on Amazon yesterday, and I am flabbergasted that y'all give a damn, and I'm encouraged about you, that you are hungry to get some value from my experiences. It's meaningful, validating.
Well, let me just say, I think that you pointed out in the book that your head was so in the work, and I noticed it every time I would go in and read for you. You didn't even realize that all these people are out here going, damn, I want to get in John's office, or, you know, oh, John called me in for this, or, oh, I booked that. Like, I don't think you came up for air.
Not very often. I came up for wine.
Until COVID, really.
Right. Well, you know, I never really, I mean, obviously I knew ER was something special, and I knew that the quality of lots of the things I got a chance to do was special. But I didn't know until we did this, the impact. And it's kind of fucking fabulous.
All right, guys. Well, I want to thank you all for coming out, and thank you, John.
Hey, John.